Hey everyone, it's Anya here at Our Gabled Home, where I like to share tips for a simple, beautiful, healthy, and sustainable living. And in this video, I want to show you how you can make these little chocolate hearts. They're perfect for Valentine's Day, but you can make them any time of year. And stay tuned because I'm going to show you how you can add another ingredient that gives it that melt in your mouth, truffle-like quality. And what you'll need for this is the best quality chocolate you can find and you can afford. Nobody really wants to eat a beautiful piece of chocolate that turns out to be all grainy. So see if you can get the best chocolate out there. And I always like to use 70% or more, depending on whether I'm going to use it for myself, but you can totally use milk chocolate, dark chocolate. You can also add a little bit of sugar if your chocolate is not sweet enough. So it's really flexible that way. And I like to add hazelnuts to my chocolate hearts. This is totally optional. You can leave them out. You can also add almonds. You can add any other nut that you wish to add. But again, this is so flexible and you can make some with and some without nuts. And then obviously you need these little chocolate molds. I'll be linking in the description box below where you can get them. They're silicone molds and you pour the chocolate in there. You put them in the refrigerator or in the freezer if you're a little impatient like I am, and let them harden, and then they'll just pop right out. And now here's for the secret ingredient. I am adding coconut oil because coconut oil gets soft at about a little less than 80 degrees, maybe 78 degrees. It adds that little melt in your mouth quality to your chocolate. And we'll add about a generous tablespoon to about 3.5 ounces of chocolate. Again, this is flexible. You can add a little bit more coconut oil. Just know that when you're going to touch your little chocolate hearts and keep them in your hand for a little bit too long, they will start melting in your hands. So you have to pop them in your mouth pretty quick. You can also add a little bit less, but this is really what gives it that decadent melt in your mouth quality. Now let's see how we can make these. Here I've gone ahead and already melted my chocolate in a water bath. You can see that there's just a little bit of a clump left of chocolate. We want all of this melted. And I have already added the coconut oil. And because that melts at a much lower temperature, it's already melted and you can't see that it's in here, but trust me, I added that earlier. Now that our chocolate has completely melted, we'll fill the liquid chocolate into the silicone mold. And one thing you want to be careful of is when you pour from whatever cup you've been melting the chocolate on, make sure that there's no water at the bottom here, because water and chocolate does not like each other. So you want to be really careful when you do that. So now we'll fill the molds, and because I'm going to add the hazelnuts, I will start filling the molds with just a little bit at the bottom and let that solidify before I add the hazelnuts. The reason for that is that when I've made this in the past and I put the hazelnuts in first, the chocolate doesn't go all the way around. So when I pop them out, the hazelnuts are already peeking out and there seems to be a little hole, if that makes any sense. So trust me on this one. You want to add a little bit of chocolate to the mold first And because I want to speed up this process, I'm going to pop the mold into the freezer for a little bit. Okay, and into the freezer this goes. My guess is that I've had the silicone mold in the freezer for about 10-15 minutes, and as you can see, the chocolate is completely solid, which is exactly what we want. And now we'll add our hazelnuts to the chocolate. And now we'll pour the rest of the chocolate right on top of the hazelnuts. And you can see that the hazelnuts are disappearing. You want to be really careful not overfilling like I just did. Now, as you can see, I couldn't really fill the last mold, which is okay. So this is about 3.5 ounces of chocolate and a good tablespoon of coconut oil, and it doesn't quite fill this mold even with the hazelnuts in it. I'm gonna let those chocolate hearts solidify a little bit before I return this to the freezer, because when I'm going to move this, the soft chocolate will probably come out of the molds, and so I'm just going to let that sit and then turn it to the freezer, and then I'll show you how I take them out of the mold. Now you can see that the chocolates have completely solidified, and we'll pop them out of the silicone mold. And all you do is you turn it upside down and pop them out. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. I upload new content every week. You can also go to my blog at ourgiveofhome.com, where I have more tips and recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and see you here next time.